Why is it that some people seem so disciplined, so obsessed with art, that they can grind through the fundamentals for years, and of course their art improves? Meanwhile, for most of us, the fundamentals are too boring. We lose motivation, and we can't seem to force ourselves to practice consistently. So how do you get addicted to improving your art? Now, a lot of advice on YouTube says, gamify drawing, make it more fun, add rewards. But I don't think the solution is adding more stimulation to drawing. It's subtracting the things that are competing for your attention. To get addicted to drawing, you have to eliminate your addiction to everything else. And the number one obstacle keeping you from improving is media. It took me years to realize that and to break my addiction to media. And since I've cut back, I've made more progress toward my artistic goals than ever before. And that's with a full-time job and 2 new babies. I promise you, if you reduce your media consumption, your drawing will improve. Okay, first things first, I'm not saying media is evil. It's what inspires most of us to make art in the first place. We love characters and we love stories. We don't just consume media, we want to create it. The problem is overindulgence, when consumption becomes your default and you spend more time watching than practicing. And that hurts you in 2 ways. One, obviously, it takes away time that you could be practicing drawing. Drawing is a skill, and skills improve with time. You get better at what you practice. If you spend 3 hours watching shows and 20 minutes drawing, you're training yourself to watch shows. Every hour consuming is an hour not practicing. And the second reason is one that goes a little deeper. It makes drawing feel boring. When you constantly consume fast edits, bright colors, and rewards, your brain gets used to high stimulation. Then you sit down to draw a box 100 times and your brain's just like, this is so boring. But when you reduce that stimulation, when your brain returns to baseline, drawing starts to feel fun again, starts to feel engaging. And it's not because it changed, but because you did, your brain did. Okay, so let's start with the obvious one, your phone. This is the killer right here. When people try to fix their phone addiction, they usually focus on this. Let me delete TikTok or YouTube or put my phone in a lockbox. And yeah, that might help a little bit, but for most people, it doesn't work long term. Because the real issue isn't specific apps, it's your relationship with the phone itself. The mindset shift is this: it's not about using certain apps less, it's about using your entire phone less. And that's because there's this rabbit hole problem. I would open my phone for something small, like checking my text messages, and in that message would be a link to a YouTube video. And I'd open it and I'd watch it, and then I'd see another video that I want to watch. And then now I'm down a rabbit hole. And this has probably happened to you. You pick up your phone and you forget why you even picked it up in the first place. And in that moment of confusion, Instagram's right there, or YouTube's right there. And then you're on your phone for hours. So it's those little pickups that are gateways. So instead of obsessing over screen time, start paying attention to phone pickups. Go look at your screen time settings. There's a section that shows how many times you pick up your phone per day. And that number, I would say, is more important than hours, because every pickup is a chance to get your attention hijacked. This is a big rule that helped me and I think can help you too. If you can do it on your laptop, you don't need to do it on your phone. Now, why a laptop? Why is that better? Well, your laptop is clunky and it doesn't go in your pocket. It doesn't follow you into the bathroom. It adds friction to consuming content, and friction is going to be your friend. So delete apps on your phone that you can access on your computer. Block sites if you have to. Force yourself to consume intentionally, not impulsively. Now, if all of this sounds overwhelming, here's a really small step that can get you in the right direction. This is what you can do. You can watch all the content you want, but it has to be about drawing. Train your algorithm. Like drawing videos, search drawing tutorials, watch artists. At least then you're using the addictive nature of these platforms to keep drawing in your mind. And it's not perfect, but it's better than feeding your brain random stuff. Now let's talk about video games. They give you clear goals, constant feedback. You always know what to do. You know when you're improving. Drawing is the opposite. It's confusing, it's slow. So of course, if your brain has to choose between the two, it's going to choose video games. So how do we reduce gaming? The first thing you need to do is to ask yourself, what psychological need is this satisfying? Is it social connection, competition, freedom? What kind of games are you drawn to? For me, it was competitive games. I liked ranking up, I liked improving. And once I realized that, I had to ask myself, can I channel that need somewhere else? So I redirected that competitiveness into drawing and into YouTube. If you can channel your need to something in the real world, that's what's going to lower your dependence on gaming and make it less appealing for you. Now, here are some practical tips to make it harder to play video games. This is what helped me. I moved the console to a different room. I put the controller in another room. I played on a smaller screen. I scheduled specific blocks when I was allowed to play. And a really big sort of one-time decision that I made that really made a big difference was not renewing my PlayStation Plus subscription. Because once multiplayer was gone, my console pretty much just became useless to me. So now I only play on PC. It's for 2 hours, it's 1 day a week, it's with a group of friends, and it feels very intentional and not impulsive. So just remember, an hour spent leveling up in a video game is an hour not leveling up in real life, leveling up your art skills. Now let's talk about one of the hardest ones for artists, and that's shows, movies, and anime. Because this is the stuff that inspires us. We watch something incredible and we think like, I want to make that. But here's the trap. Watching isn't making. Because we'll tell ourselves like, this is research, this is inspiration, and sometimes that's true, but most of the time it's just consumption. It feels productive, but it's not practice. So here's what I did to help me break this addiction. I haven't had a TV in my house for over a year. And that might sound drastic, but I know myself, and if it's there, I'm gonna use it. So I removed it along with cutting my subscriptions to Netflix and other streaming services. And honestly, I don't miss it that much. Because once TV stopped being like the default activity that I did when I had free time, it was drawing instead that started to fill that space. So I'd really suggest doing that, or at least just trying it out. Putting your TV in storage for a month or a week. And if that still sounds too extreme, here's something you can do. Just move it so it's not the focal point of your room. Instead, make your drawing desk the focal point of the room. When you walk in, what does the room invite you to do? Consume or create? Remember, your environment has a powerful way of shaping your behavior. If you want to get addicted to improving your art, you have to remove the competition. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer things pulling at you. So reduce the noise. Let yourself be bored. Let your dopamine reset. And then drawing will stop feeling like a chore, and it will start feeling instead like the most engaging thing that's available for you. That's when discipline becomes effortless. That's when obsession begins, and that's how you get addicted to drawing. If you like these kind of videos and want to follow along with my art journey, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.